All right. We have Shaun in Paw Paw, Michigan. Thanks for waiting, and thanks for helping us out with the call screening test earlier.
Oh, no problem. No big deal.
What do you got for us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
We can.
Yes, I'd like to bring up IEG, Intelligent External Guidance, into this equation.
Into which
And
equation?
Well, basically, intelligent external guidance is, I'm saying that it's a fact that both Matt and Jen, their existence today is because of intelligent external guidance in their life.
I agree. I exist today because my externally intelligent parents had sex.
Yep.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that. You guys acknowledge that, so you guys also acknowledge that you guys are part of this universe as well, that you're intricate and intricately interwoven with this universe, that you're part of this universe. Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, we're part of the universe.
I would agree. I'm part of the universe. This is like stellar because we're in complete agreement so far.
Yeah.
Excellent. So since we're in agreement on that, now if someone brings to you guys, hey, you know what? There's an intelligent creator behind every bit of it. In the rudimentary stage of this universe, when it was actually coming about, when it was coming into existence.
Mm-hmm.
If someone said, well, there's an intelligent creator behind it, looking at yourselves and weighing yourselves into this equation, you could not say that, well, we know for a fact that there's not.
No.
And in fact, you have to say that, there's a possibility that there was an intelligent creator behind it all.
I won't say that there's a possibility. I'm saying that we can't demonstrate that it didn't, that it isn't the case, but that doesn't mean that it happened or that it's possible. Those are things that, Shaun, those are things
Yes.
that it is possible and that it happened. Those are claims that need to be demonstrated.
Exactly. Well, right now we know for a fact that it happens right now in the here and now. There's not a human being on this planet that can make it out of
so, Shaun, this is where you're confusing. The reason I'm okay with the idea of intelligent external guidance in a scenario is because we have a demonstration of it. My parents had sex. They are intelligent. They are external to me, and this is the case. But that doesn't mean that there's an intelligent external guidance behind everything.
But there's that possibility where you can't.
How do you know that it's possible?
Because of you. You just said you agreed with me that you exist today. You were never made out of your infancy stage without intelligent external in your life.
I can light a match right here and demonstrate that I'm able to light a match. Does that mean I can light a match in outer space?
Well, not really.
Okay.
So there you go.
So you can't argue from the specific to the general. You can't say that because something can be demonstrated in this way, in this time, in this place, that something analogous can actually occur.
Well, you could actually light a match in outer space.
So here's the thing. Every example we have of intelligence exists where?
It actually, within creatures on this blue marble.
Yeah.
Even monkeys demonstrate signs of intelligence.
So what makes you think that there is intelligence beyond this blue marble?
Well, we're here because of some reason, are we not?
No.
No.
You don't acknowledge yourself as existing right now?
Of course we exist.
The point of objection that Jen and I raised was not to our existence, but to your assertion that we exist because of a reason. As if you were implying some sort of purpose that would require an actor to make this decision.
Can I ask you guys something right now? Are you guys both right now intelligently and intentionally directing your thoughts right now with me on this show?
As far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So that possibility is overwhelming for somebody to say no, they know that they don't believe that it's out there beyond this blue marble amongst the millions of billions of stars that are out there.
Shaun, the fact that I can direct my intelligence toward a goal doesn't mean that there's some intelligence beyond the universe that is directed towards a goal.
Well, I say this though, you exist because of it.
Well, how do you know that?
Yeah.
How do I know that? Well, without your mother, a test tube, or your father, an uncle, an
I've already conceded. Go ahead.
What does that have to do with this claim that there's some, deity or something outside?
Well, purpose in this life, right? That everything has a purpose in this life, and everything.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
Well, let's take this in the biology right now. Every cell, group of cells, every organism, group of organisms are dependent upon and influenced by others within their environment.
That you're talking about function. You're not talking about purpose.
Well, your existence is because what that actually does, what that function is, what it does.
Correct.
Sure.
You guys' existence is because of that. You guys rely upon higher sources in your life. You acknowledge that, correct?
What are higher sources?
What higher sources are you talking about?
Oh, we're asking the same questions.
I know.
I'll let you do it. I'm just going to.
All right, well, higher source, just to break it down and use the main higher source right now, the sun. Without the sun, you would not exist.
That's not a higher source. That's a celestial body. It's a star.
The sun's not dependent. Would you agree that the sun's not dependent upon you for its existence?
That's correct.
But you are totally dependent upon the sun for your existence.
Yes, as is everything on this planet.
Technically, it doesn't have to be an intelligent higher power, but it's still an intelligent power. It's still a higher power.
Okay, if you're going to define the sun as a higher power, then that, I acknowledge that the sun exists and we are dependent on it for our existence.
So isn't it reasonable for human beings to look towards that? To say, hey, you know what? The evidence is so overwhelming that it's all around you that, hey, you know what? To believe in God, everything's pointing in that direction. To say it's not is to go against the grain of your own makeup.
I don't see anything that's pointing in the direction of a God. The fact that one thing, you want to call the sun a higher power.
It's not the highest source. God is the highest source.
Okay,
feel free to demonstrate
how do you know that? Because
power.
Okay, if using your model for higher power is that my existence is contingent upon this higher power, which actually isn't true, because the sun could cease to exist and I would continue to exist, albeit for a short period of time. It is the persistence that requires the energy that's coming from the sun that feeds the planet and blah blah blah. But if you want to say that,
then we're going time, yeah.
But your thing is the sun is a higher power because our persistence, it depends upon it. Okay, if we want to go down that road, then we would get to something like the laws of physics in the universe, because the sun is dependent upon those things to be the way they are in order for it to continue to exist, right?
If there are things that are consistent, would you agree that things are consistent? Like with
I asked a
gravity,
question.
Excuse me?
So I asked a question that was about your model for higher sources or higher powers or whatever, that if you're going to put the sun higher than us, then you would put the laws of physics ahead of the sun, right?
Certainly. Okay. I would have to.
Sure. So I have no reason to see anything beyond physics.
Even though you yourself exist because of intelligent external guidance in your life.
Okay, because there was an intelligent decision made by other intelligent beings that I can demonstrate, that's the time to concede the point. It's when there's a demonstration that it's accurate. If I had no evidence of parents, like if I just woke up one day and I was the only human being and had no history, and didn't know anything about sexual reproduction. Maybe we can't even say that I was the result of sexual reproduction in this hypothetical. What reason would I have to conclude that my parents were real?
Well, in that hypothetical scenario, you wouldn't.
Right, which is now you can expand that hypothetical scenario. You can expand that. Shaun, you can expand that hypothetical scenario to be directly analogous to your claim of a God. I have no evidence for that proposition.
You don't want to extrapolate so far that you just take everything out of the equation and say, hey, I don't believe this because I don't want to believe when I have all these overwhelming facts.
It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with what we want to believe. It has everything to do with what can be demonstrated.
Well, what's demonstrated that we know for a fact right now, for human beings at least, is that we are totally dependent upon intelligent external guidance.
I'm also totally dependent on oxygen. Does that mean there's an ultimate oxygen somewhere?
Well, there's intelligent people that actually administer oxygen to elderly and other people that actually have problems with their lungs and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know?
Has God ever administered oxygen to somebody?
Well, he's the very breath. He gives the very breath that you breathe right now that you're even able to engage with me on this show.
How do you know that?
Feel free to demonstrate that.
Do what? Demonstrate that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can say it. I can say anything. I can say that it's not a God that is responsible for life, but it's universe-creating pixies, and they also deliver the oxygen to me as well.
Mathematically, this is what I'm saying. Mathematically, there's not a human being on this planet that can say, no, there was no intelligent external guidance behind it all.
Okay, so
However,
what?
With the facts that we have in here now that we
Shaun?
know for a fact that humans are totally dependent on it,
Shaun?
we can say that it's the mathematics in the equation. Yes.
Is there a human being that can definitively say that it isn't universe creating pixies?
Say that it's not pixies?
Yeah.
I don't think they can, actually.
Okay. So now we have two. Now we have Shaun. Now we have two competing hypotheses that serve as an explanation for the universe. And your argument for God is that basically nobody can prove it's not God. And then you just Shaun, I'm gonna put your ass on hold if you don't let me finish my sentence.
I didn't tell everybody you were going to hang up on me because you can't handle facts.
Oh, please.
Hey, jackass, present some facts and let's see how well I handle them, because you're the one who just acknowledged that the competing hypothesis of pixies is just as unfalsifiable as your God proposition. We've repeatedly asked you to demonstrate it, and all you've done is dribble on about how we can't prove it's not God. Here's your last chance. Demonstrate it.
To demonstrate it?
Yes.
To simply say mathematically, for you to exist today, there was intelligent external guidance in your life.
I don't think you understand math.
Yeah.
I'm saying that there wasn't. If you guys want to throw pixies into the equation, if you want to throw a flying spaghetti
How can you dispute the pixies? They're delivering your oxygen a molecule at a time.
Those pixies died for you.
That's right.
How dare you be rude to the pixies?
They better say they're intelligent than if you want to throw them into the equation. Don't forget to do that.
Of course pixies are intelligent.
Well, if you want to throw whatever you want to use.
You know what else? Pixies also understand math.
That's right.
And they know that there's no variable for a God, so no mathematical thing is going to be able to prove a God or pixies, which is why you acknowledge this.
Acknowledge what?
You acknowledged a moment ago when you said that mathematically speaking, nobody can prove that it wasn't a God. Also, people can't prove that it wasn't pixies. So we have two.
Where's those intelligent ones, though?
Sorry?
Intelligent pixies. Make sure you use that. Intelligent pixies.
Oh, for fuck's sake, pixies are intelligent by definition. I've already acknowledged that. The issue here.
Can you say that it's a possibility that there's intelligence?
I'm not saying it's a possibility. Oh my God, Shaun, Shaun, do you know what unfalsifiable means?
I certainly do.
Please explain to the class.
I'm just bringing the two facts in right now. I'm not talking
You
about
explain what unfalsifiable means, or you're done.
Unfalsifiable?
Yes.
It can't be proven one way or the other.
No, it means that it can't be proven false. Unfalsifiable. It's right there in the damn name. Something that's unfalsifiable could potentially be demonstrated to be accurate.
And you got all this evidence around you. What do you do with it?
What evidence?
What evidence? There's no evidence.
When we started this off, you both agreed with me.
Yeah.
You guys only take yourselves into the equation. Let me tell you why. It's called hedonism.
No.
That's why you guys
Okay.
take yourselves into the
You remember
equation.
hey, were you listening when I said to stop putting motivations into people? Because basically you look like a jackass. When you say that we're refusing to believe because of hedonistic tendencies, when what we've acknowledged is that you presented an unfalsifiable proposition, and every single time we've asked you to demonstrate it, you duck and dodge and provide, and then you say, oh, with all this evidence around you. What evidence?
Well, there's tremendous evidence around you, all around you. What you're doing right now.
Bring it.
What are you doing right now? You're intelligent, directing your thought right now.
Yes, and the fact that I can doesn't mean that you can.
I'm definitely doing it.
I doubt that. I doubt that. As a matter of fact, I think that you are so far away from directly directing your intelligent thoughts. I think you're buying off on and repeating and regurgitating a script that you have come up with prior to this. Because when we ask you something that doesn't fit in with what you want to say, you don't answer.
Ask another question right now. Ask away.
Please present evidence that would confirm the existence of a God.
You mean tangible evidence, right? Physical, corporeal, palpable?
I'll take whatever you can
whatever
offer.
You have.
Because so far, I've pointed out, because everything you've pointed out so far, I've demonstrated is not evidence for a God.
Right now, can I point out how dishonest that question right there in itself is? You want tangible, palpable evidence right now from me to you when I can't give it to you over this video screen.
Actually, you're the one. Hey, Shaun, you're the one that said tangible, palpable evidence. I believe that I said I'll take whatever you've got. So bring it or get off.
You agree with it. You already agree with it, and I thank you for that. My case is proven. You agree to it.
Sorry.
You can't say you know for a fact there is one. I can say that there's a great possibility.
Okay.
We agreed that we're part of the universe and that we have parents who had sex.
Are you there?
There's intent in population. Whether it's good or bad, that's another matter.
Okay, let me ask you this, Shaun. Let me ask you this, Shaun. If I were to demonstrate an intentional act, from that, could you conclude that there was some other intentional act in another set of circumstances?
In another set of circumstances?
Correct. Like for example, are you watching? Shaun, are you watching? Or
I'm seeing you guys. I'm
okay.
Right now.
So I'm holding up a pair of sunglasses.
I don't see that yet. My computer's probably delayed.
Okay. You'll catch up. You'll catch up. I'm holding up a pair of sunglasses, and I'm going to throw them. Now, we can say that that was an intentional act, and we can agree that it was an intentional act to throw those sunglasses. Does that tell you?
I'm following.
Does that tell you in any way whether or not the rock that fell down the hill earlier was the result of an intelligent act?
And you know what? That is awesome. Only if you personally tell me why you did that, then I would know. Hence, most of our relationships with Christ is
no.
What is?
You directly observed me taking an act that we both would agree was an intelligent, directed act, right?
Well, you know there is magician type deals you could do, but I've seen that happen right now. Correct. I just seen you do that with the glasses.
Okay. So are we in agreement that me throwing those glasses was an intelligent act?
I wouldn't say it was intelligent.
All right. When I hang up on your ass, is that an intelligent act?
I could say yes, it was an intelligent act because you were demonstrating something. I hope you had some reason of demonstrating that.
Holy crap, Shaun. I threw some glasses. Would you agree that that act was the result of an intelligent agent taking an action?
I'd say you're intelligent. You just took an action. Yes,
Jesus fucking Christ.
Shaun, I got a question for you.
Did you know just intelligently grab those glasses and throw them down and demonstrate?
That's all I'm asking you. Would you agree that when I threw the glasses down, that this was the act of an intelligent agent?
I'd say so, yes.
Yeah, cool. Now we're in agreement. Right. This was so simple. However, a little while ago, there was a big rock that came rolling down a hill. Does my throwing the glasses tell you whether or not that act of that rock was the result of an intelligent agent pushing it down the hill or something else?
Well, there's many variables in that scenario.
Right, but here's the question that you're not listening to. Here's the question. Shaun, stop. Listen to the question. Shaun, listen to the question carefully. Does the fact that you and I agree that me throwing glasses was an act of an intelligent agent tell you, in and of itself, whether or not the rock coming down the hill was the result of an intelligent action?
I already know what you're getting at, and I never once said that every.
Is that why you're not answering the damn simple yes or no question that you know the answer is no?
It doesn't clearly demonstrate that. I don't see the rock for one. That's just something you're illustrating, and I'm concocting in my mind that you're speaking it, and then
goodbye.
Yeah.
The answer to the second question is no. The fact that I threw glasses doesn't tell you whether or not a rock that came down a hill was intelligent or not, which also demonstrates that the fact that we agreed that we had parents who had sex to produce us does not mean that there's an intelligent being outside of the universe serving as an ultimate director. You are arguing from the specific to the general, and that is fallacious. You cannot simply say that because I can light a match on Earth, I can light it in outer space.
Or even on Mars.
I'm glad you think you proved your case. I beg to differ.
Yeah, there was a reason he didn't want to answer that question.
I think the first reason was he didn't understand it and was just suspecting that everything I asked was going to be a trap, because it is.
Yeah.
And I say that both humorously and seriously. There are a lot of, I've had lots of conversations over the 12 years on the show. Mm-hmm. You could view almost any question that I asked in an argument as a trap, because it's designed to expose fallacies in the arguments that are being presented. And so if your goal is to preserve your fallacious argument at all costs, you avoid those traps. But if you actually care about what's true and accurate, and if you care about following the evidence and reason where it leads, then those questions aren't traps. What they are is big lighthouses that are designed to lead you away from the rocks and towards reality. And if you are so resigned to piloting your ship on every whim and whimsy, you're going to hit those rocks. It's not a trap. It's a life preserver. And the quicker people start recognizing this and say, oh, I'm not going to let that Matt fella, boy, he uses that logical jujitsu stuff and scoops me in and just, it's a trap, it's a trap. Well, to the extent that it's a trap that is truthful and designed to actually help.
Yes. You've been on the show 12 years, right?
More, yeah, a little more than 12 years and 2 months, 4 months.
I think this month is like, what, my 9th anniversary on the show?
21 years on this show between us.
Yeah. You remember our first show together, right?
Maybe.
We did the show on circumcision.
Oh, yes.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I love doing shows about things that make me cringe. Yeah, I don't cringe with theistic. I tell you what, I don't want to drag this on. I do want to mention that after the show's over, people involved with the show get together and go for dinner at Star of India restaurant, and they will have the address up there. There it is.
There it is.
2900 West Anderson Lane. For those of you watching on a delay, you'll see it after you hear it. But it's, you know, I've done a lot of stuff. I've done lectures, debates. I'm doing more and more of them, big talks, small talks, meeting up with small groups and large groups. I'm producing the Atheist Debates Project to try and give my thoughts, which, by the way, I'm not the ultimate arbiter of anything other than what I think, and barely that. But to the extent that I might have something that people could benefit from and learn, you know, in the conversation, I'm sharing that. I'm also far from perfect. I talk way too much. I need to. Matter of fact, just as a test, I'm going to try to sit through the entire next call and say nothing.
No, that doesn't work.
Mostly nothing. But I hang up on people on occasion. I've been known to call people names. I have been arrogant. I acknowledge all these things. And if somebody were to call in and make an argument that I was a jackass in a particular situation, I'd probably agree to it. However, I don't think it would be very easy for somebody to go back through and find an error, a call, where no matter how heated it got, apart from simply misspeaking, I presented you with fallacious responses to your arguments. And if they exist, I would certainly want to know about them and correct them, as we have on the occasions where any one of us have gotten something wrong, and it's nice to be corrected. Now, I'm not going to pull up a show from 7 years ago and say, oh, Matt said this when he should have said that. You know, we're not going down that path. Although I am reminded of a call that Russell and I took many, like 10 or 11 years ago, probably, where the caller asked us about the ontological argument, and we gave brilliant responses to the cosmological argument.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if there was just something wrong with both of us, or we misheard it, or we fed off of each other to go down the path that we were going. But it was still a good response to the cosmological argument, and once we acknowledged that there was a problem there, we went back and looked at the ontological as well. It's just, I want theist callers to call in.
Yeah.
And we have one on hold, and Matthew, I'll get to in just a second. And I know that for many people, it's their first time watching the show. I mean, people say, how can you keep doing this? Oh my gosh, haven't you heard this over and over? Yes, we have.
Yes.
And the reason I keep doing it is because it's somebody's first show, and because I legitimately enjoy it. I enjoy finding new ways to express things, the match into outer space as a deconstruction of this arguing from the specific to the general.
Yeah.
I think it's a good example. Somebody will point out a flaw in it, and it will get refined. I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is calling in, making a fallacious argument, and then being asked questions designed to direct you towards the fallacy, and then duck and dodge and laugh, and then claim you've proved your case.
Yeah.
That might convince you, but it's probably not going to convince that many people watching, and certainly not us.
Yeah.
But